Buckle up, because today on GoPro Tips and Tricks, we're tightening down our GoPro bolts. We're reviewing the 3D printed GoPro Wrench and Gripper. The GoPro Wrench and Gripper allow you to tighten up your GoPro bolts tighter than would be possible using your hands, while doing it in a fashion that's a lot easier than having to use a screwdriver. Also, the wrench is a lot smaller and more compact than moving around a full-sized screwdriver. The GoPro Wrench and Gripper are not made by some big company. They're 3D printed by this guy called Terry, and he sells them on eBay. He's got international shipping anywhere you need. He can ship them anywhere in America for about $2. At least that's what the shipping is right now at this time of filming. And these products are very reasonably priced. A little one-man operation. He's able to keep the cost down, and I think he's just this is his product. He's developed it for himself. He's an avid GoPro user, and he always had trouble with the GoPro bolt, so he came up with a solution, and he printed off one of these, and it worked out really well. So he's printed a couple more of them, and I think he's just trying to share them with the community. He got in contact with me, and he sent me up a couple samples, and these things are really great. So I figured we'd make a video and we talk about them and give them a little review. And then if you guys like these things, you can go check them out on eBay. There's all the links you need down there. He's selling this GoPro wrench for $5 plus $2 worth of shipping. So for $7, you can get one of these wrenches delivered to your door. And at that cost, it's almost less than having to buy a screwdriver. And it's, in my opinion, does a better job than a screwdriver does at tightening up your GoPro bolts. So let's take a quick tour of the GoPro wrench. The first thing you're going to notice is the cutout in the side here for your GoPro bolt's head to fit into. The really nice thing with this one is that the back of it's actually solid, so when you clip it onto the camera, the bolt can't come out the other end. There's a couple other GoPro wrenches available online, but they've got open backs, which means that if you don't get them into just the right spot, they can slide either too far in or slide off out. This one's really easy. You just push it on, and then you can tighten or loosen it just like that. You'll notice here I've got three different wrenches. This is the standard one. This is the $5 black standard GoPro wrench. It works with all of the GoPro bolts, and it works with all of the different GoPro cameras. There's a nice cutout on the side there. You can see it's just the right size, so the Wi-Fi button does not get in the way. This is true on the Hero 3 Plus, a Hero 3, just the right size. And then it works great on the Hero 2 as well. With that, the Hero 2 doesn't have that Wi-Fi button on the side, so there's really no interference there at all. The white one here, this is for the aftermarket aluminum bolt. So if you guys have got small tree bolts and you really like the idea of a wrench, but most of your bolts are small tree bolts, you can get this one here. It's the white one. It's also linked in the video description, and that does the small tree bolt. So it's a slightly different cutout pattern on the inside of the wrench. And then the final one he sent me here, this is called the Gripper. And this is designed not as a wrench like this, but it's designed to be more compact and fit directly over top of the bolt to just expand the size of the bolt's head and allow you a little bit more grip when you're tightening it up. So it just slides on like this, and then you can use it just like that to tighten up your GoPro bolts. I've actually had a little bit of issue with this on the Hero 3 Plus as well as the Hero 3. Now the Hero 3 it's not bad for, but on the Hero 3 Plus what happens is these cutouts on the top end up slotting into where the Wi-Fi button goes and then jamming. So this gripper isn't that great on the Hero 3 Plus. On the Hero 3 with a slightly bigger case, it works perfectly, and you notice there it slides underneath, so it still hits, but it does have enough room to spin. And then on the Hero 2 it works flawlessly because again there's no Wi-Fi button there, so you can basically just spin this up or loosen it off as much as you want. The gripper and the small tree bolt tightener retail for about $8, or at least right now they're listed at $8, and again that black GoPro wrench is the cheap one, coming in at a mere $5, including the little clip here so you can clip it onto a bag or your GoPro kit bag or anything like that so that you never lose it. So if you guys have been following me for some time, you probably know that I normally carry around a screwdriver with me in my GoPro kit bag so that I can tighten up my GoPro bolts if I need to stop mount movement. If you're doing something like a front-facing helmet mount, where the camera's kind of hanging off and there's going to be a little bit of impact. It's probably going to move. I tighten my mounts up when I'm doing that. If there's any kind of high impact areas where you're mounting your camera, tightening down those mounts to stop as much movement as possible is a really good idea. And then the other reason I carry that screwdriver is so that I can undo those mounts after they get tight. If you get cold hands or anything like that and you need to undo your GoPro mounts, it can be a real pain, especially if if your hands are cold and you can't really grip that well. Having something like a screwdriver to undo them is a lifesaver. So I'm probably going to switch carrying a screwdriver and just start carrying this GoPro wrench with me because, one, it's lighter and then it's plastic, so it's not going to damage any camera gear it comes in contact with. Like when I carry my screwdriver, I have to be really careful it doesn't bang into cameras or accessories because it does have that sharp point on it and it's very easy for that to scratch camera lenses and stuff. So I do have to make sure I keep it separate. Whereas this, it's plastic and I can just heave it in my bag and not have to worry about it. It's there when I need it. The final thing I think that's worth talking about is the fact that these are 3D printed, so they don't have quite that same beautiful finish as you expect when you get plastic or mold injected plastic. It is 3D printed, so it does have a little rough edges and there's a little bit of detailing, scaling here on the inside of the plastic where it's been filled. It is 100% fill 3D printing, so these mounts, there's no air gaps. The fill is 100%, and especially that's important on these ones. So they're very strong. Got a little bit of flex like most 3D printing objects, and that's really about it. These are really cool, and for the price, they're pretty hard to beat. I was excited when he sent them out, and then when I started looking more into them and found out how cheap they were selling for, I think it's kind of a no-brainer not to have one of these in your kit bag. They'll be really helpful when you want to tighten down that mount, or even more of a lifesaver when you get your camera jammed on so tight that you can't get it off and you just really want to get it off that mount so you can move it to the next angle. Having something like this would save your bacon. Thank you guys for watching. This was another GoPro tips and tricks video. If you guys have enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, check out my channel for lots more videos, and like the video. Down in the comments down below, let me know what you think of doing reviews of kind of more one of a kind GoPro accessories, very small indie developers who are just doing and sharing their ideas with the GoPro community. Do you like it? I think it's really cool to be able to share some guy's great creation that he's just printing on his 3D printer. So go ahead and check them out. There are links down in the video description to all of these different wrenches and the different GoPro products that he's making on his 3D printer. Until next time, thank you very much for watching.